Hi, and welcome to another episode of Spot Check. My name is Fabian Peter, and today in the studio, we have a Malaysian icon, a sporting icon,
you.
our former bowling queen, Datuk Shalin Zulkifli.
Hi, Fabian.
Welcome.
Thank you.
It's been a while, Datuk, since, since we've spoken.
Yes.
The last time we met was probably at the bowling alley.
Yes, correct.
But today is going to be a bit different. Our discussion today is going to be a bit different because you are now still in the sporting industry.
Yes.
But in a very different capacity.
Yes, correct.
Right? So I'm not going to waste much time. I'm just going to dive straight into it. You are now the head of MACE.
Yep.
Which is a secretariat within the National Sports Council.
Yes, correct.
Correct? So maybe you can explain to us a little bit, what is MACE?
Okay, so at the National Sports Council, we have two secretariats, which is the female secretariat and MACE. So MACE stands for Malaysian Athletes Career and Education, where we are the support system in terms of athletes' welfare.
Okay.
So we help in terms of we have three different units at MACE. One is education, one is career, and one is welfare. So for education, we help the athletes with their education in terms of daily schools, in terms of entrance into university, into sports school, help them apply for scholarships, help them prepare for scholarships, do education programs to prepare them for SPM and so on. And then for career, we help them transition from their time as an athlete to their retirement. So we prepare a lot of soft skill programs like Excel, PowerPoint, or some motivational or inspirational talks. And then we have welfare, which I think is the most famous out of all units at MACE because that unit takes care of Shakam, our incentives, our so-called pensions for the Olympians, CSR programs, and now and for the last 3 years, Safe Sports. Under the MSN program.
Okay. So this is where we are going to go. I mean, this is the direction of our podcast for today. See, in the last 3 years, right? We've been hearing a lot about the Safe Sport Code, right? And this was something that was started by our current Youth and Sports Minister, Henayo, right? So maybe if you can explain that, what is the Safe Sport Code? And I mean, I guess for our listeners, our audience, we also want to know what is the difference between a code and an act. Because I think before this, there was lots of talk that, there was going to be the Safe Sport Act. And then next thing you know, it's a Safe Sport Code. So what is the difference?
So actually right now, the Safe Sport Code was introduced on the 15th of March, 2023. So one of the main purpose of this code is to help protect all the stakeholders involved in sports, whether it be athletes, coaches, sports officials, to make sure that there's a safe environment for all of us to compete, to excel in. So it also not only covers just like the normal, I would say, like abuse, physical abuse, and all those things, but also like safety of the sports facilities and so on. So one of the reasons why it's a code and not an act is because, as you know, YB Hannah is also a lawyer. So they did a study and they found that we already have a lot of existing acts in our system, which is the Sexual Harassment Act and so on. So takes a lot longer for an act to get passed because there's a process that they have to go through. So the other option that we had was to do a code. So when it's a code, can be implemented almost straight away.
I see.
So that's why YB Hannah and KBS decided to go that route.
Because I did a bit of reading and understand that when it's a code, when it's an act, it's very specific to that act.
Yes.
But a code can be
and we
a collective of acts.
Acts. Yeah, we use the existing acts and we also can amend the code. as and when we need to.
Okay.
Like for example, last year,
Yeah.
there's some amendments to the code to include vaping and smoking.
Oh.
Yeah, so it as we go on, there's probably certain things that we might put in or take out depending on the situation. So it's a lot easier for us to go through that process a lot quicker.
So it's a little bit more flexible as
Yes,
well.
it is more flexible.
It's flexible
Yeah.
and it's easier when you want to look at something case by case.
Yes,
right?
correct.
Okay, so Dato', so like see now that we've been talking about the Safe Sport Code and how it has come into effect the last 3 years. You also did mention that it's not specifically for physical abuse
Yes,
or
yes.
let's say sexual harassment. It also covers various other misconduct.
Yes,
right?
yes.
But let's just go back to, let's say, abuse and also harassments, misconduct that involves an individual or maybe a group. We're talking about athletes, we're talking about coaches, and even officials. The perception is that, when there's something that has gone wrong, it's always, it seems like there is something stopping people from lodging a report.
Yeah.
More so when we talk about athletes, I guess there is this perception that they are afraid that that things may not go
Yeah.
a certain way,
Or they get
right?
penalized.
They
or-
get penalized
yeah,
and
or
all
they-
this kind of stuff. So now that you've been part of MACE, how long have you been part of MACE?
I've been part of MACE after I retired, which
Oh, okay.
was 2021. But
Yeah.
then I took a year off to compete professionally on tour. So I joined MSN or NSC 1st of January 2022.
2022. So
Yeah, so
you've
3
been
years.
there, right?
Yeah.
3 years, right? So in your experience over this past 3 years, why do you think people don't come forward?
Oh, well, actually, according to the stats that we have, it's actually the reverse. So actually, a lot more athletes or coaches and also individuals that actually come forward compared to before. Compared to the first year. The first year we I have some stats here.
Yeah.
So the first year we introduced Safe Sports. We had 13 cases.
Okay.
And 34 misconducts.
Okay.
Because one case can have a few misconducts.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's 5 different misconducts.
Yeah.
So in 2024, we had 20 cases.
Okay, that's an increase.
Yeah,
right?
increase and 33 misconducts. And last year we had 20 cases and 33 misconducts. And for this year, so far we've had 5 cases and 6 misconducts. So overall, over the 3 years, we've had like about 38 cases that's been reported and 73 misconducts. And among them, I think a majority, but probably slightly more than 70% of them are coaches, involving coaches.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you could, in a very simple way, explain what are some of the types of abuse that is very common or prevalent here in Malaysia?
Yeah, we have like in the Safe Sport Code, you have a few misconducts. Okay. The common and serious ones are like sexual abuse, sexual harassment, mental abuse, and also grooming, psychological abuse, besides the physical. And we also have spurning.
Sorry?
Yeah, so
What
there's
is that?
spurning is like something almost like grooming. Is one of those misconducts where we actually had a few cases, more spurning, not so much, but more to grooming, where we have like coaches who are grooming the kids to do what they want and things like that. So those are among the misconducts that we have. But so most of it, some are more psychological and some are physical. The first year we had was more physical. Like you've seen on, I think the news where like some of the badminton where they threw the chair and then like slapping the athletes and things like that. So now we see more sometimes psychological cases, and also at MACE we also have a trained counselor, a trauma counselor, to actually help the athletes, because not all cases that comes to us wants to be reported as a police case. So it depends on the affected person, what they want, and we try and help them and assist them. So some might just want for us to have awareness sessions for their sport, so that it's not obvious that they know that someone's doing it in their sport. Someone's violating the safe sport code, because they don't want, like you said earlier, where they don't want people to know that it's them or the offender to know, so that their chances of being selected gets interrupted, or and then there's also some where they just want counseling. They just want somebody to listen and just not judge them. And some cases, extreme cases, they want like the offender's contracts not to be continued and things like that. So it depends on what the affected person is comfortable with. So we just try and accommodate as best we can to make them feel safe and be heard.
But correct. I wanted to just touch on that point. I think it's very important that you mentioned that you guys would not just, it's not all about making a police report.
Yes.
Okay, so some of them might come forward to lodge a report, but like you said, maybe they want some counseling, they don't want people to know, they don't want it to go public. But how do you guys manage it? Like, okay, for example, if let's say you know for a fact that there is somebody inside that so-called system or association who's causing this kind of problems, he's not safe, this person is not safe for the rest, would you guys still intervene and maybe, I don't know, stop their contract and all those kind of things?
We've done that, But we have to make sure that's where the interviews and case management comes in play. Where we have to make sure that every complaint that comes in is valid complaint. It's not, but because sports, it's very gray area. It's not like every police case that's being reported is 100% right.
Correct.
Sometimes you don't. Sometimes some parents or athletes, they misuse the system as well. And just say, because they don't get selected, the coaches do this to me and things like that. So that's why case management comes in play, and we have to interview both parties to see whether the two stories are right and things like that. And then we, like this year, one of the other improvements we made was, remember I said earlier, we had one lawyer, Puan Melissa Ahe, who was consulting us. So actually, due to the number of cases that we got the first year, we were kind of burnt out as well, especially her. So that's why this year we actually hired 4 consultants. So they are different lawyers in different, has good experience in different fields. Like we have some who majoring in sexual harassment, some sports lawyers, some different criminal lawyers and so on. So we discuss the cases with them, and they advise us which route to take, because we're not the experts. So we just kind of like take in the cases and try and do the collection of proof and things like that, and then it's discussed within that whole safe sports panel to see which is the best course of action.
So this brings me to my next question actually. Reporting mechanism. So how does it work, Dato'? Okay, now let's say there is a case. An athlete has been abused, all right, or has experienced misconduct. So now, is the case referred to the police first, or do they come to MACE?
Well, if it's a very serious case, because usually they do a triage, it's a very serious case, then it should go to the police first, no matter what. And then after that, if they can also come to us, so we can actually we can actually either wait for the police case to get done before we start our investigation, or we also, in certain cases, we do it simultaneously as like the police as well, but we don't interfere with because it's quite
Correct, because
delicate, because you might be tampering with evidence and things like that.
Yes.
So we try and work, because there's also one of our committee members is also actually part of the police force, PDRM.
Okay.
Also an ex-athlete. So whenever there's certain cases that's has more clout than the rest, more serious cases, we will discuss among the committee members, also with the sports lawyer panel, to see what we should do. So the normal reporting mechanism is that either they go to the police or they can go to us. Usually we have, for MACE, we have a QR code that they can scan and they can fill out all the details about the misconduct.
That means it's like a form.
Yeah, it's a form, Google form. And then every day or every few days we will check, and then to see if there's any new cases, and then we will contact them and see whether they want to pursue, is this correct, the details is correct, and if they want to pursue it, and then get more details to see whether they want to come for interview with us and things like that, and then we go on from there. Whether if it's in the system, then we usually put a freeze on whoever that's being reported on, involved, until the investigation is done, and then they can, depending on the result, either they let go or they continue with training.
But this kind of report, this mechanism, right? Like what you just mentioned, it's a QR code. Do the athletes go to it? Or whoever lah. Whether it's the athlete, coach, or even
whoever.
Do they go directly to this QR code, or must it be done through the sports association?
No. Either way. Because there's 5 different mechanisms which we accept. One is whistleblowing. One is through email. They can call us, or they can text, or the QR code.
QR code. So there's various methods in how these complaints can be made.
But if you go through the QR code, it comes direct to us. Because some athletes or affected person, coaches and things like that, they go through the system, the NSAs, but then they don't get the result they want, and they're not happy. If the NSAs do not take action, and then they will go through us. They will directly go to us, and then we will be the ones who will work together. We will look into it, whether NSA or, because we also have the sports commissioner in our committee. So what can we do according to different regulations?
And you mentioned about the whistleblower. I just want to draw it back to in recent weeks. I think we've seen some cases involving coaches. One very big case was this former national cyclist who has been charged, right? So like these cases, and I think you coming from the bowling scene, in the past there's also been this former assistant coach from Terengganu who was also charged. So these are 2 very different cases. One case was before the Safe Sport Code came into effect, I think.
Just before.
Right? Just before. And this new case, I think, is pretty recent. So what was the mechanism? Did this come through MACE, or?
Well, the first one, the bowling, was actually, I brought it in because the parent came to me and reported, so we brought it in, and then it went through MACE. So it actually took us 2 years to actually come to that point where he was charged and went to jail. Just went to jail and so on. So it's a very long process. But the other case, the cycling case, didn't go through us because he's not in the program. He's not an athlete, he's not a coach in the program. So it didn't go through us. So that's why it went through PDRM directly. But for the Tampin bowling case, it also went to the police. But the case was reported to us first, and then we assisted them in making a police report. So that's also one of the mechanisms in our system, in the Safe Sport Code, where, because sometimes when they come in, they're not sure whether it's a safe sport violation. So they ask us, so we try and guide them and tell them their options, what can you do, then they will decide what they want to do. And then when they decide what they want to do, we try and assist them there.
Yeah.
Whether it be a police case, some later on after making the first report, they said, okay, our lawyers will advise, okay, you should make a police report. So at certain instances and cases, we actually went with them to make the police report, because sometimes it can be very intimidating to make a report, because most of the time people will think it's their fault, and it's not. So we try and give them moral support as well, so that they can get the confidence to do it.
Speaking about that, I mean, I'm a journalist, and sometimes we journalists, as much as we try to be sensitive about certain cases, but if we're going to get a tip off, somebody is going to call us up and say, hey, this so and so athlete is going to the police station to go and lodge a report. It's a sexual harassment report. We got to go there and cover the case,
True.
So how does MACE or even the Safe Sport Code protect these athletes? Like, how do you protect a whistleblower? How do you deal with, let's say, the media and tell them, hey, this is a very sensitive case. Can we not?
Yeah, we actually had a few cases like that, because when somebody reports to us, it's anonymous. So nobody will know. Not even my boss at NSC will know. It's on.
So if they do it through this QR
basis,
code, it's anonymous.
It's anonymous. Only a few of us have access to it, and then the NSC also won't know. So that's why I think more and more people feel that it's safer for them to report. That's why there's more cases now. But we've also had where some which like you mentioned just now, where they went through the other way. So for example, we've had some cases where we've had to handle which went viral first. Went viral first. And then after that, we had one case also, which was para swimming, which was leaked first. That's why our lawyers actually advised, it was wrong for them to go to the media, to the press first, and so on. There's a lot of learning, not only from us, but also from the media too, on what is correct process of trying to get the best for everyone. So, like for example, the earlier cases we had, I think the first or second year, we had some under 18 athletes that were involved, but their faces were not blurred in the newspaper. Actually, you have to blur their faces and things like that.
Because they're minors.
Because they're minors. So I think it's ongoing learning process for everyone. But I can see the progress since we started in 2023 and now. So everybody's more aware now. Even like, for example, last year or the year before, when we had Sukma in Sarawak, was it last year, right?
2024, correct.
We actually MACE went around all the 11 different states to do a safe sport tour.
Like a road show.
Like a road show, because I think the closest or the lowest level that we can go in terms of high performance at the grassroots level is Sukma.
Yes.
So because we have a lot of pelapis kebangsaan athletes that are still representing the state. But for other instances, for example, like school kids and things like that, that will not fall under MACE or MSN or KBS. It will fall under the Education Ministry and so on. So we're trying to respect everyone's boundaries. So that's why, since Sukma is still within our ecosystem, that's why we did a road tour to 11 states, where there were coaches, athletes, sports officials, to give them an awareness of what safe sport is and things like that. And we actually had a few cases that was reported during the Sukma as well. After and during the Sukma as well. One actually went to the tribunal, and so on. So I think it's good progress.
And I think like what you said, it's constantly evolving.
Yes, correct.
We're learning as we go.
I
think recently there was an interview with the sports minister, and even she said, moving forward, there's going to be like a collaboration between Safe Sport and
Yes.
also ISN.
Yes, ISN.
To come up with like a directory of certified coaches,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So that parents can actually know that, okay, we're going to be sending our children for
coaching.
and we want to know who are the coaches,
Yes,
whether
correct.
they've gone through the certification, safe to send them, right?
Yes, correct. So because we don't have a separate entity that takes care of everything related to Safe Sports compared to Singapore, because they have a commission there. So that's why every stakeholder needs to play their part, I think. So like for example, we work together closely with ISN because we see a lot is the stakeholders involved is not only athletes which are under MSN, but also coaches.
Yeah.
So that's why we need to work together with the National Coaching Academy for them to have that awareness session for all the coaches as well.
Okay.
So one of the things that we did last year were to include Safe Sport code training and Adamas training in the athletes and coaches contract.
Okay.
So it's mandatory for them to go through those 2 trainings, 1 hour each.
Okay.
As part of their contract renewal.
Okay.
So under ISN will take care of all the coaches training.
Yep.
So now they have to go through Safe Sport training, and ISN also has like modules because they are more to e-learning and so on. So they have 3 modules that's in their I would say system that has 1 for athletes, 1 for coaches, and 1 for parents or sports administrators.
Okay.
So it's just like a 30-minute course, online course that you can go through, so you know what Safe Sport is and your responsibilities and so on.
Yeah.
So like right now, I think because our method of coaching in this day and age is a lot different than my time or probably your time when you played sports. You know, last time it was like harsh and things like that. So now as we evolve and progress, we have to go towards positive coaching.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's not all the coaches' fault because that's how they were taught before.
They came from a different time.
Yeah, they came from a different time, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you can use the same methods now.
Yes.
So it's more of like, for them also probably it's part of their learning process. Because we always say, athletes, you must learn, you must be up to date, you must know. But now coaches also need to do that.
Yeah.
So they need to learn how to coach in a more positive manner, because sometimes it's more of like generational trauma of how just because last time my coach shouted at me and now but then it's a totally different time. So and we have different rules now.
Yeah.
So they have to learn as well. So that's why ISN plays a really major part in that. But we have our laws. We checked. We actually wanted to publish those who are in investigation. Like for example, Singapore, they publish all those cases that's whether they're under investigation, things like that. But currently we discussed with our panel of lawyers and things like that. They do not actually advise us to do that. So instead of doing that, we make a decision to publish those who are in good standing.
Okay.
So once you see if that coach's name is in they call it Malaysian Sports Coaches Registry, MSCR, under AKK. So if their names are there, that means they have gone through all the proper training and things like that, background checks. Like right now we have background checks for coaches as well. Compared to before, we didn't have that in our system and things like that. So it's more structured now. So we try and weed out those who are not in good standing. And I think right now even YB Hannah also announced recently that within the 5 years, we'll give all the coaches a chance to make sure they go undergo training and be Safe Sport savvy within 5 years. So all the grassroots coaches has to make sure that they are certified, they are licensed and certified, so that they know how to coach better.
So this will be done through ISN.
For coaching, it will be done through ISN under AKK. For athletes and officials and coaches, high performance will be under us. So
Okay.
that's why we work. There's a lot of crossing of boundaries and interagency. So that's why we work together.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it will be the same, basically the
We try and complement each other. Yeah.
okay,
So
okay.
whichever that ISN the aspect that ISN doesn't do, we come in and
Okay.
because we also have awareness sessions.
Yeah.
But we do training.
Okay.
We do training of NSAs and focal point training.
Yeah.
Which ISN doesn't.
Okay.
So ISN will focus mostly on coaching
Yes.
and coaches. So we will focus on the rest.
Yeah.
I think Sports Commissioner as well, they also have some awareness sessions for NSAs as well.
Okay.
Because some NSAs do not know. Compared to Singapore, I think they have 64 or something out of their NSAs in Singapore.
Okay.
All have signed the Safe Sport code and all have their own template of Safe Sport. Safe Sport in their own NSAs. I think only 4 associations do not have that. Compared to Malaysia, I think we only have less than 5, maybe 3 or so NSAs, even top NSAs that do not have their own Safe Sport policy within the NSA itself. So that's one of the things, like policy-wise will be under Sports Commissioner.
Yeah.
Because that falls under their jurisdiction.
Yeah.
So we try and complement each other because we don't have a entity that's on its own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Datuk, now I mean, like it's a very heavy topic. I would think
very
like
heavy.
Yeah, it is, but it's also heavy and very necessary.
Yes, it is.
Right. I guess moving forward, like you say, at some point I think we want to be on par with perhaps Singapore, who has like the Safe Sport Commission. I believe we are on the right path.
Yes.
Of course, it's still a learning process.
Yeah.
But for you, as someone who has been roped into this,
Next.
all right. What are some of the things you hope to see moving forward? Because I'm sure you're in this for the long run. Even YB Hannah might be switched around. She might move to a different ministry and stuff. But you are going to be in this for the long run. So, what do you wish to see? How do you see us improving?
For me, what we say is correct. Like, Singapore, their implementation is a lot different than us. But actually, we actually are even more thorough than them in terms of cases. Even Singapore, they don't handle, like, for example, like the bowling case. They don't handle A to Z. They just give you a name of in their system, the way it works. They just give you, okay, this is a panel of lawyers that you can contact.
Okay.
But the affected person have to go and contact themselves.
Okay.
Where here, we actually assist them from A to Z. So in terms of that, we are actually a lot more thorough than Singapore. But it's easier for them to apply it because they go through communities. It's a smaller environment. So it's easy for them to actually, you have to follow this. So like for them, it's mandatory for all sports associations to have that policy. If not, they don't get funding.
Okay.
So that's where we're heading to.
Okay.
That's where YB plans to go. Because I think starting last year, they had the self-governance and things like that, where all the NSA has to do a second bank account and things like that.
Yes.
So that's my boss's plan, our Director General, Encik Jeffrey, moving forward, and with the NSC's board as well. Moving forward, I think next year they will do like probably not an MOU anymore, probably an MOA, where it's more binding and and where each NSA has to be more accountable for every single cent that goes into their association, and they have to apply best practice and so on. So everybody has to be accountable. It's not just like, okay, we are going here, you have to give us money and things like that without handing in reports and things like that. But like for me personally, I think I'm kind of happy and blessed. Blessed. Not cursed, blessed. Because I'm actually one of the few pioneers that actually was there with YB and was entrusted in a way to help Safe Sport. There'll always be people from the outside criticizing, but it's always easier to criticize than actually going through the process. After 3 years, actually the first 2 years, it actually, when you handle case management, it actually affects you as well. So it's like me and my team were actually burnt out as well, and that's why we try and rope in more and more experts, and we try and learn the best practices so that we are able to service and serve not only the athletes but ourselves as well. So I think moving forward, we are improving. Actually, IOC is very impressed with our Safe Sport code.
Okay.
Even though it's not an act, it's a code, but they see the efforts that's being done here by YB Hannah, by the ministry, by all the ISN, MSN, and everyone, because we're new. Actually, Singapore, it's easier for them because they've already probably established themselves. So for us, we are new, and the speed we're going is actually pretty fast compared to some of the other countries. But obviously, there's a lot red tape and things like that has to go through. So we have to make sure that we are the policy that we're making for NSAs, high performance, and so on is the best one for each of the stakeholders. Yeah.
Okay then, Datuk. See, that's a lot, and actually, to be honest, I'd love to have you back on the show. I mean, it would be good to probably talk again in another year time. In 1 more year time
to see how the progress is.
The progress we've made. But thank you very much for being with us on the show.
You're welcome.
I wish you all the best. I really hope that this Safe Sport code under MACE would really highlight the importance of having a safe sports environment in Malaysia.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
Thank
Hope
you,
to see
Fabian.
you again, Datuk.
Thank you.